Oh, sorry guys. Jack here, and once again, going to look over two shows from the Brave series. That being the Brave Fighter of Legend Da-Gaan and the Brave Express. Yeah, I got that right. Might Ganie. But let's go now. These one would help set more standard for Brave series to follow after their end. But first, let's go into the story of Da-Gaan. So our main protagonist, Senji Takasugi, is gifted with a jewel called an Aron, which is transformed into the Brave Commander, a phone-like device, and this represents the power of the Earth. So the Earth has named him the commander of these 8 brave robots, which have jewels scattered all across the world. Now, Kenji will need to fight. Now, to save the world, Kenji must find these brave stones and fight evil aliens who plan to conquer or destroy his world. So, with that out of the way, let's get into our main protagonists. First, of course, is the main robot, Da-Gaan. Now, instead of being space robots that possess the power of being alien beings that possess vehicles for robotic bodies, these robots are actually ancient warriors that possess vehicles for robot bodies. But, in any case, for every single one, each follows, I forgot his name, Senji's command. It cannot combine without his authorization. Sorry, just had a flashback to a Brave series we're going to go over a little bit. But we're going to go later on down the line. But no time for that. Now, Da-Gaan possesses a police sports car, which happens to be the police car of one of the side characters. But I'm not getting into that. So Da-Gaan, with his awesome powers, transformed a fighter jet and a liner in order to access his combined form. These became the Earth Liner, which is a bullet train, and the Earth Fighter, which is, a red, white, and blue Jetfire. Now, these also have a combination outside the regular combined mode, known as the Da-Gaan jet. Basically, the Earthliner becomes the new cockpit. Also, in any case, I'm not sure if this applies to all the Brave robots, but they seem to have a little sub-pocket dimension for Kenji to ride around in when they're in robot mode. But that's just me. Now, the combined form for Da-Gaan, the Earth Fighter, and the Earthliner is known as Da-Gaan X, because X is cool. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, Da-Gaan forms the torso of Da-Gaan X, while the Earth Fighter forms the top half of the body, while the Earthliner forms the lower half of the body. Now, his main finisher is the Earthbuster, where in a crystal orb on his chest will gather Earth energy, and then blasted at his opponent. However, this is very draining and very powerful. So Da-Gaan uses it doesn't use it recklessly. However, he does have a sword known as the Da-Gaan Blade. Now, originally, during one of their battles, Da-Gaan had to go into the Earth's crust because of a battle that happened in Africa. However, after the crust was reforged, he returned to his brave fighter comrades. Next is Ga-On, which was awake in the same time that Da-Gaan left. His gravestone was located at Mount Kilimanjaro. Now he also has a little eagle. While Da-Gaan's lion body forms, his entire lower body, and his lion head with, if you guys have ever seen some transforming robots, trying to think of one. Oh, if you guys have seen the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Dragon Zord battle mode, his jaw actually holds his robot face. And the eagle actually forms the chest plate. Now, the gun has two blasters, a cannon blaster and a Gatling blaster, which he can combine for more power. I thought I heard. I'm hearing things again. I really am. Now, these two can also combine into Da-Gaan, Great Da-Gaan GX, with Lion Gao's body forming leg armor, chest armor, and shoulder armor. His head connects to the chest, and apparently under the head is a new helmet head that attaches to Da-Gaan X's current head for his combined robot head. No, yeah, that's right. Anyway, Da-Gaan can use combine Gao's blasters into and the eagle attaching to the back to form the Da-Gaan GX Buster, making him up until now the first Brave with a cannon finisher. We'll get more into that when we go over my gang. But anyway, let's move on to the Saber team. The Saber team, they're made up of, their gravestones took the form of aircraft vehicles. And as a result, being based on jet fighters and other air-like vehicles, they refer to Senji as Captain. Now first is Jet Saber, who possessed a blue jet. I don't know their weapons. Roll with me here. Next is Jumbo Saber, who ironically is the leader of the Sabers. I don't get it either. But who possessed an aircraft carrier, a passenger aircraft. Think a jumbo jet. Hence the name. Next is Shuttle Saber, who took the form of a space shuttle. Now their combined form is known as Sky Saber. With Jet Saber Hang on. Jet Saber forms the upper torso and arms. Jumbo Saber forms the rest of the torso. And Shuttle Saber forms the feet and legs. And they died. Yeah, long story. But in case, there is actually a ninth Brave Fighter, who would be awakened if the other Brave Fighters were captured, or one of them died. Luckily, they just met the conditions. Also, he's the only one he's not awakened from a Brave Stone, and two, he does not have a plane vehicle mode, his form being the Hawk. And when he combines with the other Sabers, they form Pegasus Saber. Hawk Saber forms the torso and head of Pegasus Saber. Jet Saber forms the other part of the torso and wings. Also, Hawk Saber also has, he has front legs because Pegasus Saber, their entire lower half is based on a horse, making them more of a flying centaur? I don't know. But in any case, Where was I? Oh yes, Shuttle Saber will form the hind legs, and I actually remember their weapon this time, a bow and arrow. Now I'm thinking of Sagittarius constellation. But no time for Star Centaur. No time for Star Hybrid Horsemen. Yeah, that's right. Next is the Landers. As you can tell, they all turn into vehicles that have to do with water. I'm kidding. They're all land vehicles. And they're based on street gang, sort of. So they all called Senji boss. First is Big Lander, who is the leader of who is, of course, the leader of the Landers, and his gravestone was found in Australia. He also has a I don't know what you call it for semi-trucks, but he has a car carrier. He has a car carrier trailer that allows him to transport the other landers. Next is Drill Lander, who was also activated in Australia, and his vehicle form is that of a drill tank. Next is Mach Lander, which is a canary yellow who possessed a canary yellow Formula One racing car. Its gravestone was found in England. Next is Turbo Lander, who was originally who took possession of a bright red sports car. Now their combined form is known as Land Bison. Yes. Big Lander will form the entire lower half. Mach Lander will form the lower half of the torso. Drill Lander will form the arms, shoulders, and hands. While Turbo Lander will form the upper part of the torso and head. Now, we're going to get into one more Brave, who is actually from another planet. This one is known as Seven Changer. And best guess, he was probably based on another Transformers character, or at least his motif was, based on Six Shot, who was of the Transformers line and who was defined by his ability to transform into 6 modes. But this guy has 7. He has a tank, panther, griffin, jet, semi-truck, space orbit mode, and robot mode. I don't know what space orbit mode is. Now, he was originally disguised as a villain. However, he later joined the Braves of Earth. Yes, he's a brave fighter from another planet, in order to help stop the evil forces that, were the main antagonists. Now, with that out of the way, let's move on into the Brave Express, Mike's Gang. Now, this one was a major departure, because instead of aliens or magic or ancient spirits possessing robot bodies, these guys were the robots in this series were man-made. And for its diverse cast of villains, I'm going to go over them. But first, the plot. So, Mitzi Saijo is a billionaire teenager taking off his father's company after he and his mother died in a car accident. So at 15, he started to create his father's dream in order to dispense justice. Not like Batman, but sort of like Batman. He has a butler he has his butler who was a father figure in his life, so you can consider that butler to be the Alfred to Kenji's Batman, except without all the brooding. Yes, I went there. But in any case, let's go we need to go into, our antagonists, because we have 4. And each of their robots are a bit different. Well, sort of. First is Wolfgang, who is a German professor. His robots are the standard cockpit mechs. Next is Catherine Voltina, who is a French woman who leads the crime organization Pink Cat. And her robots are usually remote controlled. Next is Shogun Mifumi, who is an American dressed in samurai style, and he wants to reconquer all of Japan to regain an old-fashioned Japanese style, traditional Japanese culture. Yeah, no. His mechs are defined by the fact that all of his pilots, well, they're more in motion, really. They have control bands connected to them that allow them to move the robot as an extension of their bodies. Next is Joe Rival, who is also known as Joe the Ace. Who's a rival of Mito? And his cockpit consists of cars. Well, sort of. He has Hiryu, the flying dragon, and Goryu, the thunder dragon. Yes, seriously. But let's get into the Brave Express team themselves. First, of course, being Might Ganie. Now, Might Ganie is actually 3 different components. First is Ganie, who, I should also tell you now, most of the vehicle forms are, well, trains. Not all of them, but most of them. But in any case, he is the main, robot of the series. Now, Mito doesn't stay out of the action. He has his own, not mecha, but own battle train. This being the Might Wing. Yes, it's a flying train jet. Anyway, Mito has a wrist device known as the Might Brace, and he can call the Locomerizer, which is a giant steam engine. By pressing the combination button and shouting out, "That's Might Ganie!" Mito can combine the Might Wing, Ganie, and Locomerizer to form the titular robot of the title. The titular title robot of the show, Might Ganie. So, Locomerizer will form the main body while consisting of the head, torso, hips, thighs, legs, and feet. The Might Wing will form the left shoulder, arm, and hand, while Ganie will form the right shoulder, arm, and hand. Now, Mito's cockpit is transported to Might Ganie's head. Now, its main weapon is the Dorinken, which is a sword with 2 train-like wheels that act like a crossguard. His finisher in this one is the Ichimon Jigiri. I don't know what that means. But in any case, in a battle with Ace no Joe, Locomerizer was extremely damaged, to the point where Might Ganie wasn't an option, and Mito was seriously injured. However, his burning passion for justice would not let him rest until this battle was solved. Luckily, his friends built him, and luckily, they had a new train that just got finished testing. That being the Might Kaiser. Now, Might Kaiser is carried by Might Kaiser's main engine is the Drill Express, which is a locomotive with a drill connected to the front. And it carries the Kaiser Carrier, which contains a chest emblem that's important to Might Kaiser's formation, and two wings that connect to Mike Kaiser's back. But Mike Kaiser does not combine with this. He combines with what's in the Kaiser carrier. Those being the Kaiser machines. Now the Kaiser machines are labeled 1 through 5. Kaiser 1 is a jet, Kaiser 2 is a drill, Kaiser 3 is a black hoe, not that black hoe, like a farm vehicle. You know, I'm not trying to be racist here. A black hoe that, well, look up hoe for yourselves. HEO. I'm getting off topic here. Anyway, Kaiser 4 is a steamroller, and Kaiser 5 is a bulldozer. Oh, I know how to describe it. Hang on, maybe I can find an image real quick. Well, a hoe is instead of being, hang on, is there a vehicle? Aha, there is a vehicle. This is what I'm talking about, that type of hoe. So now we got that out of the way. Their combined form is, of course, known as Mike Kaiser. Drill Kaiser forming the main body, including the torso, hips, and thighs. Kaiser Jet forming a breastplate, apparently. Kaiser Drill becomes the right arm and hand. The black Kaiser 3 becomes the left arm and hand. Kaiser 4 becomes the left leg, and Kaiser 5 becomes the right leg. Also, those wings that are attached to the Kaiser carrier connect to the back, and that crest emblem, connects to the chest. Now, he also has a jet mode, and his finisher is the kite. And the drill part that was connected to, the kite that was connected to Drill Express can become a handheld drill weapon. Now, I don't know the finisher, but in any case, their combined form is known as Great Might Gang. Also, forgot to mention, when Maito was piloting Mike Kaiser, Ganie's AI takes control of Might Gang itself, so no loss there. So their combined form is known as Great Might Gang. Kaiser 5 and 4 connect to the feet. Kaisers 2 and 3 connect to the forearms. Kaiser 1 connects to the front hip area. And Drill Express connects to the chest with the Might wing arm and the Ganie arm separating, then connecting again. The drill expanding to form a larger chest crest that has MG, which extends for Mike Ganie. Also, the crest chest area for Mike Kaiser forms a new headpiece, and the wings attached to the back. Now it has a new Ken called the Great Dorian Ken, and its finisher, because I don't remember it, so I call it the Great Ichimonji-giri. Now, there's one last mecha that is very important for future series. That being Mike Gunner, who, like the name suggests, is a train who has a big engine cannon. Now it can also form a shoulder cannon and connect to Great Might Gang, known as Perfect Mode. This is the first main mecha to have a cannon add-on, which not every, but some Brave series would follow afterwards. Next, we get into the Bombers, who are actually a team of brothers. They're also known as they also have a combined train mode known as the Animal Express. that because the bombers can all transform into alternate animal modes. First is Leo Bomber, who was originally the leader of the bombers and could transform into a lion. Bird Bomber could transform into a bird, and Dino Bomber could transform into a blue Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now their combined form was known as Tri-Bomber, with Leo Bomber forming the main torso area, Dino Bomber forming the entire left side, but not limited to left leg, left foot, left leg, left thigh, left hip, left shoulder, left arm, left hand, with Dino Bomber mirroring it with the right side. Also Leo Bomber formed the head. I'm thinking of something else. I did not know why I said Kaiser there. But anyway, the Kaisers were damaged, and they got a new leader, this being Horn Bomber, who transforms into a Triceratops. And their new combined form is the Battle Bomber, with sort of a reverse chest thing going on. For Tri-Bomber, it was the front of the train mode for Leo Bomber, but this time it's his lion face. Also, the head of Horn Bomber's animal mode forms the new helmet. The side components of his train form connect to form wings, and the rest of his body forms a shoulder cannon. Next, we'll get into the divers, who in their combined form, who actually, unlike the bombers, actually fold in together to form the Rescue Express. Their leader is Fire Diver, who transforms from a fire truck, Police Diver, who transforms into a police car, the Jet Diver, who transforms from a jet, and Drill Diver, who transforms into a drill. Now, while these guys do see battle, their primary use is rescue work, and their combined form is known as Guard Diver. Fire Diver forming the entire upper part of the body, Police Diver forming the lower part of the torso and hip and thighs, Jet Diver forming the left leg and foot, while Drill Diver forms the right leg and foot. And that's pretty much it for Da-Gaan and Ganie. Interesting series, mind you, but I've seen worse. Alright, next time we're going over the Brave series for the years of 1994 and 1995. We're looking at the Brave Police. We're looking at Brave Police J. Decker and the Brave of Gold Golderon. But that's for next time. So, I'll see you guys there. Yeah, I know I didn't have the guts.